Hello, my name is Kelly, and this is day 2 of my confidence challenge. It is the second day that I'm posting a video. And as I mentioned in my first video, the reason I'm doing this is because I have always had a pretty difficult time talking in front of the camera. And this is something that I want to do. I want to become better at talking in front of the camera, and I want to continue to practice over and over until I feel like this is something that I can do quite well. So I think that it's all about practice. It's all about just doing it over and over and over again. I'm rewiring my brain, I'm getting more comfortable, and as I get more comfortable, I develop my confidence. Now, the interesting thing about me is that I am 63 years old and I've been introverted my entire life. I have done lots of things that I feel really good about. I have achieved a lot of the goals that I've set my mind to, with regards mostly to education and my work. I have a PhD in metaphysics, a master's in nursing. I've worked all kinds of really great jobs in nursing and have always been very eager to try new things. But the one thing I have never really challenged myself with is the fact that I have continued to have this aversion and discomfort to talking in front of large groups, even though I have done that in the past a bit with certain jobs that I've had, but really uncomfortable talking in front of the camera. So I think the best way to overcome this is just to practice over and over and over, and to become accustomed to the discomfort, to the awkwardness, and to just work through it. And the more that I do this, I am convinced the easier it will be, the better I will become, the more confident and the more charismatic I will be as I'm talking. So I will just share a few details about myself and let you know that I am 63 years old, although I feel like I'm very much the same within as when I was in my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, my 50s. And I think, oh my God, this life has gone by so quickly. Where did it go? So, I feel a little bit different physically within my body. And I feel mentally, of course, more mature. And I feel that I've further developed my thoughts and my insights and my perspectives. But generally speaking, I feel pretty similar to how I did many years ago. Energized, love of learning, playful, just very similar. So the aging process is interesting. But anyways, one of the things that I wanted to share with you, and I said that I would in my last video, is I wanted to give you a little bit of information about my history. I am married, as I had mentioned in my last video, and I am from British Columbia. My husband and I moved down to the US in 2000, and we wanted to pursue an adventure, so we sold our house and our business and decided to move down and be open to whatever we encountered. And so I found a job that I really loved in California, and the rest is history. So, as a young child, I spent the first 4 years of my life in northern British Columbia. And the reason for that was because my dad was a construction welder, and we lived in very remote areas where he was working on big hydroelectric projects such as dams, building of dams. And this was in the early 1960s, which I'm sure for some of you sounds like an eon ago. So we would live in the remote areas of these forested areas with other people that were also working on these projects. And I do remember at one point that we lived in a forested area as my dad was working on the construction of Mica Dam. And there were other people that we lived in a group with. All of us lived in trailers. And my mom did the laundry for the family, which was myself and my younger sister, my dad, in the Columbia River. So it was just a really amazing time. And I think part of the reason why now I really am so aligned with mountains and evergreen trees and areas that are not developed, that are forested and wild, is because of these years that I've spent growing up in northern British Columbia. And that has very much become imprinted within my being, that I am someone who belongs in forested places that are wild and untouched. And so that's something that I really do resonate with. And when I was 5, we moved down to Kelowna because we wanted to, of course, my parents wanted to enroll me in school. But one of the things I do remember from living up north is that we would travel on trains a lot, which I think is just a really beautiful memory. I do recall my mom traveling on a train with my sister and myself, and of course my sister and I were all dressed up as we used to be in cute little skirts and nice shoes, and I think that we were going to the dentist, but we did travel a lot via train. And to this day, I think that might be one of the reasons why I have this fascination with trains. I love trains. I love everything about them. I think they're really, really amazing. Let's see, my history, I've worked as a nurse since, for 31 years. And it's been the most amazing experience. I have had so many beautiful experiences being able to serve, look after people, and learn a lot about myself. I've worked in transplant, in management, I've worked in the OR, I've worked in the recovery unit, I've worked in skilled nursing facilities, I've worked in cardiology. And I feel very blessed. It's been truly an extraordinary experience. And I've been very involved and interested in metaphysics. I love studying spiritual subjects, and I'm very committed to my own spiritual development. I spend 1 to 2 hours every morning with my spiritual study, with my prayer, and reading and meditating. And then I have affirmations that I work with throughout the day. I do recalibration exercise every hour throughout the day, primarily to keep me really centered on my inner core, really focused on my highest vibration possible. And this is something that I really value and I feel is very good for me. Now, I think that what I'm going to do is close, but I want to offer, if any of you have any feedback on the way that I'm presenting myself, if you think I need to be talking differently, I am certainly open to hearing any input from anyone. And again, one thing I do want to mention is that all throughout my life, as I have been pursuing my goals, I've been enhancing myself through education and learning, that I've not ever really been addressing the fabric of who I am. I've never really changed anything, and so this is my opportunity to change. Really, really change who I am as far as how I communicate, and to look at and unravel what I don't do well and figure out how to rebuild and make it better. So again, my main method of doing this is through just practicing, talking over and over and over, and becoming okay and comfortable with the discomfort, with the awkwardness. And this will be my exercise in developing a greater skill. So on that note, I will close, and I would like to remind each and every one of you that you are a beautiful, beautiful child of light, beautiful child of God, and that each one of you has a divine purpose that is meant to be touched and looked at and cultivated so that you can be the very best that you can be. And that's one of the things that I do in my coaching practice, is help others to really develop that inner voice, that inner sense of who they are and what they need to do to achieve their potential. So, that being said, I will close. I will say goodbye, and I will offer you my best. Until next time, namaste.